We'll see you next time here in Chase Place.
Demolition derby on the debate stage tonight. Ugly insults as presidential rivals clash in a battle branded the worst in history. The car dealer accused of a casino rort charged with stealing hundreds in a plot at the Star. Cash to go bush, incentives to get the young and unemployed into the workforce. Sausage sizzles returning to Bunnings, 40,000 at the footy final. Now the push to get workers back into the city. Quick response rescues jetpacks to cut time. Our government says it's interested. Feminist icon and Aussie hitmaker, we look back at Helen Reddy's roaring career. And hear from the young shark who's beaten brain cancer, a miracle recovery ahead of the finals.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. It was billed as a blockbuster event, but by the end, some were calling it a burning train wreck, the single worst presidential debate of all time. Within minutes of taking the stage, Donald Trump and his rival Joe Biden were trading insults and interruptions, their first face-off descending further over 90 ugly minutes.
How you doing, man?
Brief small talk, handshakes ruled out.
Looking forward to this, Mr. President.
Thank you, Joe.
The pleasantries ended there.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
The question is,
Justice, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen,
this is so unprecedented.
That on a Supreme Court pick, turning to the COVID response, it only got worse.
This is the same man
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it.
That was
Same man.
said sarcastically,
That was
and you
him.
know that.
A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So,
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe.
Joe Biden attacking a rival now with a 4-year presidential record.
You're
by
the
the way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had. Everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Joe, you're the liar.
As the former vice president's family was dragged in.
The mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million.
That's
What
not
did he
true.
do to deserve it?
That
What
is
did he do with Burisma
none
to
of that-
deserve
Wait, wait,
$183,000?
None
You've
of
asked
that
a
is
question,
true.
let him answer. Mr.
The only
President,
guy that
let
did
him
something-
answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
By who?
And
The media.
It's hard to get any word in with this clown.
Fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Moderator Chris Wallace at times struggling to maintain control.
Chris,
You're
that was the
debating him,
worst
not
part
me.
of Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask.
As the president dodged questions on his tax.
Show us your tax
I paid
returns.
$38 million 1 year. I paid $27 million.
Show us your tax
1 year.
returns.
You'll see it as soon as it's finished.
Donald Trump steered discussion instead to law and order.
Are you in
And a little
favor
bit
of law and order? Go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm in
say
favor.
it.
You
Everybody's
asked a
in favor
question,
of
let him finish.
Law and
He
order.
loses
Law
left.
and order.
Let him answer.
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly.
And then this challenge to condemn white supremacists.
Do it. Say it.
Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists
Who
and
would
white
you like me to condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
Donald Trump and Joe Biden will face each other again for 2 more presidential debates, but with so many Americans voting early and by mail because of coronavirus here in Cleveland tonight, it was perhaps their best chance to make a lasting impression.
A hot mess inside a dumpster fire, inside a train wreck.
That was show. I think the president absolutely dominated this debate. Quite frankly, he could have been the moderator.
It's been an interesting hour and a half.
And US correspondent Paul Caddick is live in Ohio. Paul, has there been any consensus on a winner?
Well, Mark, the answer is as divisive as the debate itself. The Trump campaign called it the greatest debate performance in presidential history, calling Donald Trump the resounding victor, while the Biden campaign labelled the president tired and angry. Joe Biden himself tweeting, "We don't have to put up with 4 more years of that." Interesting to note, the Biden campaign actually raised more than $5 million during the debate, a record, and it's confirmed Joe Biden is locked in for the next 2 showdowns, so more prime-time rumbles ahead. Mark.
Hopefully with a few more rules. Paul, thank you. Police claim they thought they could beat the system, but say two men have learnt the hard way that the house always wins. A casino dealer and his friend face court today, accused of colluding to rig high-roller card games.
He's the casino croupier whose luck ran out.
Were you scamming money from the casino?
Hugh Lamb's huge scam allegedly netted him and his co-accused $100,000 in just 4 hours.
Are you trying to hide from us now?
What he couldn't hide from, police say, was the security cameras at the Star Casino.
These two men entered into a criminal collusion to defraud the casino of money.
Lamb, the dealer, and 27-year-old Ziyi Lu, the player. In 3 private baccarat games this month, the pair allegedly exchanged secret signals, allowing Lu to win big. The Star's internal security triggering a police investigation, and raids on the men's homes found $570,000 in cash and piles of casino chips worth $170,000.
Almost $300,000 in your house. Can you tell us where that came from?
Mr. Lu, do you have anything to say about the allegations?
No comments, thank you.
Detectives say ultimately the house always wins, and when it doesn't, alarm bells are often triggered. Detectives now going through a month's worth of CCTV from every shift the dealer worked, and say at this stage at least a dozen more charges are likely.
There is a lot of cameras. You are under constant video surveillance down there.
Lu has pleaded not guilty to serious fraud charges. Both men returned to court in November. Andrew Denny, 7 News.
7 News can reveal young unemployed people are in for a cash bonanza worth thousands of dollars each if they agree to work in regional Australia. It's one of the big incentives being offered in next week's budget as the federal government tries to ward off long-term unemployment.
It is lovely. The all-singing, all-dancing budget sales job begins.
Tell me more, tell me more. Is it love at first sight?
Adding some grease to the wheels of the labour market, 7 News can reveal young people will receive what ministers are calling generous one-off cash incentives to go bush and help farmers harvest bumper crops.
There are many, many jobs in regional Australia available right now.
7 News has also learnt that bush cash incentives will be part of a broader suite of big spending policies at the heart of next week's job maker budget, aimed at preventing under-25s from falling into a cycle of long-term unemployment. Treasury has warned senior ministers that unless big-ticket, big-impact interventions are taken now, a generation of young Australians could remain jobless for years.
If you find yourself out of work in your early 20s, and if you find yourself on welfare, there's a great risk you'll stay on it unless you are back into a job.
Simon Crean last faced this challenge as Minister with the Keating government's Working Nation policies.
It's about getting the skills set up, and that is going to require a big investment.
An investment including skills training tied to wage subsidies.
For me, there are 3 immediate priorities next Tuesday. Jobs, jobs and jobs.
On that, they speak with one voice.
Jobs, jobs, jobs.
Mark Riley, 7 News.
New South Wales has recorded a 5th day with no new community transmission of COVID-19. Now businesses are calling for city workers to get back to their desks. Tens of thousands of staff are still working from home, costing the economy dearly.
Prime CBD real estate, floor after floor, desk after desk, sitting idle for months as employees work from home. Now business says it's time to head back to the office.
This recession is going to be longer and deeper if people are remaining at home for an extended period of time.
2/3 of city office staff are still working from home, and that is having a crippling effect on small businesses that rely on them.
Heartbreaking, yes, for all of us.
Your office is COVID safe and the health orders modified. I think they'll come back to the office.
The Premier, though, remaining cautious.
We are considering what other restrictions we can ease, which we are likely to make public once the school holidays are over.
But the advice is changing for public sector employees. Where there is limited or no community transmission of COVID-19, employees should return to their usual workplaces where it is safe to do so. A sticking point, though, how to get people into the city in a COVID-safe way, with public transport largely at capacity. One solution the Premier says not many people are taking advantage of is this free all-day parking here at Moore Park. It really helps to ease congestion on the buses and trains getting into the city,
and the CBD is just a short trip on the light rail. And as you can see, there's certainly plenty of space.
Very underutilised. We're getting a handful of cars every day.
If the government is waiting for a vaccine to help speed things up, it could be a long wait.
We're a long way away from a vaccine that's available for all Australians. We think it's really important that our politicians are honest.
For the 5th consecutive day, there's been no community transmission. 4 returned travellers have tested positive, with 50 people being treated for COVID-19. 3 are in intensive care. None is ventilated. The state's last mystery infection, less of a mystery tonight. A man in his 50s being treated at Campbelltown Hospital, now suspected of being linked to a Liverpool cluster.
At the moment, we haven't reclassified it as linked to a cluster, but when our investigations are concluded, we'll make that on the balance of probability.
As more restrictions ease, some good news for footy fans. 40,000 will be allowed to attend the grand final, moved back to ANZ Stadium. And as for the other great Aussie tradition, the Bunnings barbecue will soon be back on the menu.
The most difficult thing you need to decide is what sauce to have with the onions or not.
And Evan Batten joins me now. Evan, Queensland is preparing to open the border to some New South Wales residents.
Hello, Mark. Yes, for some more, but definitely not yet for all. In just under 7 hours, we'll see another relaxation of the Queensland border, allowing now a total of some 41 communities to travel into Queensland without going into quarantine. Our Premier, as we know, said yet again today they should just open the border completely. The Queensland Premier, though, still won't say when that will happen. Mark?
OK, Evan, thank you. Talks in the Fair Work Commission to settle the ports dispute threatening Australia's medical supplies have so far failed to produce an agreement despite the union's offer of a peace deal. The MUA says it's prepared to extend the existing contract, but it's understood Patrick Stevedores wants greater productivity.
It's been accused of extortion, holding the economy to ransom, but today the Maritime Union had a peace offering.
We've offered industrial stability to Patrick's before and we're offering it again. We're going to put this before the Fair Work Commission today. We're going to put it back to Patrick's again today. We expect to see some settlement and we expect some common sense out of Patrick's.
The union scaling back its pay claim to 2.5%, extending the current agreement for a year, leaving a decision for Patrick Stevedores.
Today's the day to get real and get on with it.
As union work bans cause a backlog of tens of thousands of containers filling the docks and sitting delayed on vessels. This week, the Prime Minister castigated unions. Today, it was the Premier's turn.
I would just say to those workers, please consider the time at which you've made these claims.
A sticking point is the union's concern about the impact on jobs of new rail automation at the docks. Both sides have been poles apart in this dispute. It was hoped that today's intervention by the Fair Work Commission would lead to a resolution. Nearly 8 hours of discussion later, that's yet to happen. Private negotiations today, as public hearings are scheduled tomorrow if necessary. Chris Marr, 7 News.
Police are searching for 2 men after one crashed a stolen truck into a bridge southwest of Sydney early this morning and the other picked him up in a black BMW, both then fleeing the scene. The force of the crash at Picton's Victoria Bridge ripped a gantry out of the ground. The truck driver obviously missed the low clearance sign. He's described as being of African appearance, aged in his 20s and was wearing an orange fluorescent shirt. A man's in custody following a dramatic police operation in the Hunter Valley town of Kurri Kurri. A gunshot was fired into the air before a suspect took off into nearby bushland. A hospital was locked down for around an hour while officers hunted for the alleged gunman. A 40-year-old man was arrested without incident. One of the state's most controversial energy projects has been given the green light despite strenuous objections. The Narrabri coal seam gas project promises energy security and cheaper power bills for customers right across New South Wales.
The Narrabri gas project has already generated a lot of energy and hot air.
We will stop you!
From knitting nanas to angry students.
We are on a time bomb here.
But today, the $3.6 billion plan got the Independent Planning Commission's seal of approval.
It's a great decision for the people of New South Wales and for the customers.
It will see some 850 coal seam gas wells in the Pilliga region in the state's north. Santos says the benefits are potentially huge. With New South Wales dependent on interstate supplies for 95% of its gas, we pay 20 to 40% of retail price just to get it in. A local supply could save households hundreds of dollars a year, businesses thousands.
I do think on balance it's a positive thing for New South Wales. Gas is essential as part of our energy needs.
The environmental impact assessment attracted 23,000 submissions, 98% were opposed.
To approve a new fossil fuel development, the first big expansion of fossil fuel in this state, just seems like madness.
New South Wales, get ready, because your little community will be next.
But now the approval has been given, there'll be no going back. Under New South Wales planning laws, there is no right to appeal the decision. Santos still has to meet over 100 conditions of approval, but can now move forward to the construction stage. Peter Fegan, 7 News.
State Liberal MP Mark Coure has been hauled before a corruption inquiry investigating his disgraced ex-colleague Daryl Maguire. Both men were members of the Asia-Pacific Parliamentary Friendship Group. Mr Coure denied knowing the former member for Wagga used the group to pursue personal business opportunities.
Is it an ordinary part of the Asia-Pacific Friendship Group to promote potential products to oil companies?
No, it's not. It's a clear breach of the Parliamentary Friendship Group policy.
The inquiry continues. Australian singer Helen Reddy became a global star in the 70s with her feminist anthem I Am Woman. Tonight she's being remembered as a strong, brave activist following her death in Los Angeles at the age of 78.
A song that turned Helen Reddy into a global feminist icon.
I am strong, I am invincible.
I Am Woman became a women's movement anthem in 1972.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
It made her a superstar, the first Australian to win a Grammy.
And I would like to thank God because she makes everything possible.
Born in 1941 in Melbourne, she won a competition on Bandstand. That took her to New York. Success would come, but it wasn't overnight.
Just leave me alone now.
Topping the US charts 3 times. For 2 years, she was the world's top-selling female singer.
3 factors in my success: my intelligence, my courage, and my sobriety.
To achieve what she achieved was pretty remarkable.
And I admired her so much because she always was so modest.
Her story was recently made into a movie.
Did it ever occur to you men to ask women what they want to listen to?
She had 3 husbands, including a volatile marriage to manager Jeff Wald, and quit singing late in life.
And she went to live in Norfolk Island, and she was there living for many years as a hypnotherapist.
Helen Reddy had dementia and died in a Los Angeles retirement home aged 78. Her 2 children said, "Our hearts are broken, but we take comfort in the knowledge that her voice will live on forever." Mike A. Moore, 7 News.
Time now for a check on our weather. Here's Brownie.
Yeah, thanks very much, Fergo. A little bit of light rain is passing through this evening. In fact, currently in the city, it's sitting on 18 degrees. As we go to the radar, we can see we've got light patchy rain just passing right over the top of us. This weather should clear during the early hours of tomorrow morning. But for the state, have a look at this. Big storms are rumbling across the north. The trough that's driving the unsettled weather is gradually clearing towards the coastal fringe. In fact, our future radar paints the wet weather contracting towards the northeast corner. Well, most of that happening during the early part of tomorrow afternoon. But as we drill a little bit deeper, you'll notice some light rain clearing before sunrise. Clear skies across the Sydney Basin for your Thursday, and it will be a mild afternoon. Long weekend weather in detail, top of the hour, Fergo.
See you then, David. Thank you. Here's the Sydney teenager convicted of planning a terror attack, coming out facing sentencing while his father says he's been denied a fair trial. The high-flying paramedic rescues, so will New South Wales add jetpacks to the arsenal? Why these train-spotting Harry Potter fans were left fuming. White goods sales are rising, how you can save, that's later. And in sport, Master Coach Wayne Bennett set for a State of Origin return.
The
The finals are here, and it doesn't get bigger.
Brilliant!
Thursday, Power versus Cats in a blockbuster start. Then, the reigning premiers face the Lions. And on a sudden death Saturday, whose fairy tale will end? Saints versus Bulldogs. Then the Magpies face the Eagles in the biggest elimination final in years. The finals are here, and it all begins Thursday on 7 Mate.
Toyota Prado. Luxury that goes anywhere. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Invest with La Trobe Financial, Australia's multi-award-winning wealth manager, returning a current variable rate of 4.5% reviewed monthly on a 12-month investment. Make your money work harder for you. Call 13 80 10.
Boys!
Watch Sky Racing live, anywhere. Now available on Sportsbet.
The Karcher Window Vac. Simply spray, wipe and vacuum. The quick way to streak-free windows. Special black edition available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Don't get stuck in pain. Voltaren Emyl Gel relieves muscle pain 2 times faster and reduces inflammation to help get you moving sooner. Voltaren Emyl Gel, available with no mess applicator.
Chips, the most loved part of a meal. Yet they have the gall to call them a side. McCain pub style are too good to play second fiddle. From now on, chips will come with the side of mains. The chicken can come in the little basket. We'll have chips and fish shops, and we'll ask, would you like burgers with that? McCain pub style will have top billing because these chips are the main event.
Oh, McCain, you've done it again.
Discover Lash Paradise. Feather soft brush for instant volume and a caring formula, even for sensitive eyes. Paradise by L'Oréal Paris.
Welcome back. A car rolled in Sydney South last night, trapping the driver. Around 10:30, the Range Rover collided with parked cars at Caringbah, causing the vehicle to flip onto its side. The 45-year-old female driver was freed and taken to hospital for mandatory testing. Video has emerged of crane workers in a nerve-wracking descent at Barangaroo. They were being lowered in a cage last Friday when wild winds picked up. Flung through the air, the workers could do nothing but hold on tightly while the cage was slowly brought to the ground. Thankfully, no one was injured. A man convicted of planning a terrorist attack in Sydney when he was a teenager has caused a commotion in court after earlier barricading himself in his jail cell. After being carried in, he yelled out in court, disrupting his sentencing hearing.
Too young to be identified, but old enough to plan a terrorist attack. He was disruptive during his trial and again today during sentencing. The offender initially refused to get out of his cell this morning and attempted to barricade himself inside his cell with a mattress, the judge announced in court. He was stripped of his clothing and has been placed in an orange jumpsuit for safety reasons. Carried into court by 4 correctives officers, he was held down in his chair. I don't want to be in this court. These are false proceedings.
He didn't get fair trial.
In 2016, he and a 16-year-old friend were arrested near a Bankstown prayer hall. They had a hunting knife they'd bought from a gun shop. Their plan was to kill disbelievers of Islamic State at Bondi, the SCG and Opera House.
He's not a terrorist?
No, he's not. It's bull.
His friend was jailed for 16 years. An offender can be afforded leniency by the judge if it's shown they're suffering from a psychological condition. In this case, despite showing obvious signs he's mentally unwell, there is no medical evidence to back it up because he refuses to be assessed by a doctor ahead of sentence. He also refuses to behave himself behind bars. He's now being held at Goulburn's notorious Supermax along with other terrorists. The now 20-year-old will be sentenced in November. Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
An F-35 fighter jet has crashed and a Hercules refuelling plane has landed on its belly in a field after the aircraft collided over Southern California. The pilot of the tanker is now in hospital. Everyone else on that plane made it out okay. After ejecting from the F-35, the other pilot made it safely back to ground. The fighter jet reportedly clipped the wing of the other plane while being refuelled mid-air. The US Marines are investigating. A year after being released from prison, Jock Palfreyman has accused the Bulgarian government of being corrupt. The Sydney man is trying to get permission to come home and claims authorities there aren't even aware he has been released. Palfreyman served 11 years for murder and manslaughter after stabbing 2 men in a street fight. Harry Potter fans across Scotland were excited as the Hogwarts Express steamed across the country. That was until it reached this station. The commuter train stealing the view after fans had waited for hours. That was the Jacobite train's final journey for the year. A jetpack designed for paramedics to fly to critically injured patients could be used by rescuers here in New South Wales. Emergency Services Minister David Elliott has told 7 News he's excited by the technology and keen to see if it can be used here to save lives.
This isn't a Hollywood special effect, but it could be the future of search and rescue. A jetpack powered by handheld engines. Inventor Richard Browning has been refining the kerosene-fuelled machine for 4 years.
We're much cheaper than a helicopter. We can get to the casualty much quicker than you can on foot or by vehicle. And actually, I think the film speaks for itself. We ended up shaving, 23 minutes off a 25-minute walk.
The technology could be a game changer, especially in hard-to-reach areas like the Blue Mountains. In this demonstration, the jet suit paramedic calls in helicopter support.
It's absolutely astounding how quickly we're going to be at somebody's side that needs us.
And it could be coming to the rescue in New South Wales.
There's no doubt in my mind that this capability would not only make the lives of our emergency services easier, but it will certainly make the lives of the New South Wales citizens safer.
Costing around $600,000, the jetpacks aren't cheap, but they can be leased by emergency services. A business model the inventor hopes will really take off. Laura Banks, 7 News.
A couple has been sentenced for stealing a much-loved monument to a war hero. Coming up, they were high on ice and alcohol. Why this woman walked free. A bus driver charged over a shocking inner-city crash. George Pell hours from his Rome return. Will he stay there? Plus, it's a wonder painkiller. Now the push to drive down its crippling cost. That's next.
You may think that you know them, but you don't.
Why are you here?
There was a ball tampering incident.
My 2 kids having to face that media was shocking.
The hardest thing for me was being told that I was a really bad mother.
This is not a game.
Doing this for my family, to show my kids that it's not just Daddy who is tough and strong.
Will it make them?
Come on!
Or will it break them?
Break!
This is SAS Australia.
For making sense of a changing world. For knowing where you stand on the big issues. For understanding what's next. For the edge you need. The Australian. For the informed Australian.
I know a place where play takes priority. Where the Golden Eagle is set to take flight. And the Everest, that pinnacle event, takes racing to new heights. Champagne racing. No long faces here. Just a refuge for revelry, celebration, and good cheer. Get your fun back on track at Everest Carnival this spring. Book now at theraces.com.au.
Get ready to journey beyond on the legendary GAN. Enjoy unique experiences on and off the train as you make your way between Adelaide and Darwin on a safe and all-inclusive journey. What a way to escape.
At Power Shop, going greener doesn't have to cost more. With the range of ways we make it easy to reduce your energy bill, learn how you could help save money and the planet. Switch today to Australia's only accredited carbon neutral energy retailer.
My name is John Brown. I am here to defeat slavery.
I was gonna stick by the captain, crazy as he may be.
How many in his army?
10, I guess.
You counted 10?
We're gonna start a revolution.
The brand new event series, The Good Lord Bird, premieres Sunday only on Stan.
At The Lot, we're open for dreams, and our retailers are too. For a chance to make your dreams come true, visit your local retailer and play in store. Dream big, play local.
Welcome back. They were high on ice and drunk when they stole a treasured statue of a dog which served with our diggers in Vietnam. Now a man and woman have been sentenced, the magistrate calling their crime deplorable.
Narrowly escaping jail time, Kim Cotterill leaves Liverpool court without her future son-in-law, who wasn't as lucky.
Were you shocked James went to jail?
No, I'm not shocked, love.
The 51-year-old was high on ice and 39-year-old James Gill was drunk when they stole this statue of tracker dog Caesar from Edmonston Park train station in December. The pair used a pickaxe to damage the sculpture and then tied a rope around it to rip it from its anchor.
What were you going to do with the dog, Kim?
Caesar served in the Vietnam War for 3 years. The $40,000 statue was erected in 2016 to commemorate local tracker dogs that saved the lives of their handlers.
Do you have anything to say to those war diggers you offended? When James Gill was told he was going back to jail, he told the magistrate he deserved punishment but begged to appeal. He was then put in handcuffs and blew his fiancée a kiss as he was led out of the courtroom.
Her grandfather was a digger in the Australian Army.
Is he sorry? Is James sorry for what he did?
I'm not sorry when I kick you.
He'll be locked up for at least 5 months while Cotterill serves 100 hours of community service. Both have been ordered to split the repair bill of $5,000.
No, but I like to stick that microphone right up your
Natasha Squarey, 7 News.
A 63-year-old bus driver has been charged with dangerous and negligent driving following a crash which left a motorcyclist critically injured. The 43-year-old rider was taken to St Vincent's Hospital last night. The bus driver's licence was suspended. He was granted bail to face court in December. Cardinal George Pell is just hours away from touching down in Rome, where he's likely to meet with Pope Francis. Supporters view it as a triumphant return, but there's criticism here where the exonerated cardinal was given special treatment.
One of a privileged few currently allowed to leave the country, Cardinal George Pell was escorted through Sydney Airport, shielded from waiting media before beginning his journey back to Rome. The first since the 79-year-old's conviction, prison stint and acquittal.
Now that justice has been done, as far as the Australian court system is concerned, I think that he is basically now back to how he was. I think there's no cloud hanging over him.
The city he left 3 years ago looks a little different these days, but much like his old apartment remains the same, untouched, full of the Cardinal's belongings, which he wants to collect. Supporters of the former Vatican treasurer are elated over what they say is a chance to reclaim his dignity. Others are sceptical.
It seems to some, I think, that it looks like he's gloating a bit and he's coming back for a victory lap.
After a rival was sensationally sacked by Pope Francis last week, accused of embezzlement and nepotism, Pell an advocate of financial transparency. Sources close to Cardinal Pell believe he could be here for the next 6 months. His former position at the Vatican has been filled, but there's speculation he could take on an advisory role, and little doubt he will have a meeting with the Pope.
One thing that I think some people may be worried about is that George Pell is not going to leave Rome, that he's going to stay here and make mischief.
A place where he has allies. In Rome, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
A kiss can bring lives together or tear them apart.
Colby's having an affair.
You know, if you show those photos to anyone, you're going to break this family up.
You want me to keep your big, dirty lie a secret.
Home and Away. Next up on 7.
It's time to reboot 2020. To hit the road. Swap your indoors for the great outdoors. Love caravan and camping? Love New South Wales.
What matters most to you? Is it the place you call home? Or a life on the land? Is it looking after your best worker? Or the business you've put everything into? Or a game that brings us together? What is money for? If not for this.
NAB. More than money.
Amelia is an expert with hazardous substances. Just don't ask her to clean a carpet stain. It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
AirTasker.
Where have all the good funds gone? Why do they do us wrong? I want a fund that fights for me against the rising odds. I'm in a zero! I'm holding up for a zero, cause an increase ain't right. 2020's been tough, we've all had enough. Don't settle for a quacker shot. HBF's got a zero!
This spring, Ladbrokes is changing the way you multi. With our new split and blended features, load up your multi-legs with runners from the same race, and if any of them get up, you win. Ladbrokes. Back yourself.
Rules are made to be broken. Only with Vodafone, you can get infinite data at the speed you choose, plus data at max speed to use how you desire. So if you wish to rule your feed, stream entire seasons, or upload to the cloud in your virtual boardroom, switch now to a plan with faster infinite data. Rule your speed, rule your network, rule infinitely. You rule with Vodafone.
The Art of Living sale is on now. For a limited time, save up to 50% on the award-winning, iconic Jasper sofa. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King Furniture? Sale on now.
To win the ultimate school holiday adventure week, you need tonight's code word, scenic. Head to 7news.com.au/adventure to enter.
Welcome back, and apologies for the technical problems we've been having this evening. Charges against former Home and Away actor Joel McElroy have been dropped. The 47-year-old was accused of attacking a female senior constable after he was arrested over property offences in Surrey Hills last year. The court heard Mr McElroy, who has a degenerative brain condition, has an estimated 10 years to live. He'll now be dealt with under the Mental Health Act. Sufferers of chronic pain say the benefits of medicinal cannabis oil are making their lives livable again, but for many the cost is crippling. They're paying hundreds of dollars a month, meaning some will have to go without unless the government steps in.
Student Joseph Stringer suffers from ADHD, bipolar disorder and stage 3 testicular cancer.
Earlier this year, he was prescribed cannabis oil.
It took me about an hour to realise that I no longer had pain.
Chemotherapy caused his feet to swell and left him unable to work.
I hadn't been able to walk for potentially a week, so to be able to do that under an hour is great.
Medical cannabis company Montu today announced an online database that will put patients directly in touch with doctors in favour of the drug.
People can come to our website, montu.com.au. There they can fill in all the information and we match them with an appropriate doctor.
Only 5% of Australian doctors currently prescribe cannabis medications to around 70,000 patients. Developers hope that number could soon rise to 500,000.
I think it's lack of education and fear due to stigma around the word cannabis.
Currently, patients who use the drug are paying between $10 and $15 per day for treatment. But there are fresh calls tonight to list cannabis on the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme, a move that would slash the cost to just $40 per month.
We have a responsibility to try and provide a safe service and medication to patients, and that's what would be so great, to have it streamlined under something like the PBS.
Straight away, as quick as you can.
Taylor Auerbach, 7 News.
2 men are wanted by police after torching a stolen car in Melbourne. Security vision shows the pair pouring petrol into the Toyota before setting it alight. Police believe the men may have been injured in the explosion. One certainly was close when he sparked the blast. Sydney Swans player Elijah Taylor has pleaded guilty to assaulting his former girlfriend at a Perth hotel. He faced a magistrate's court today, admitting to the attack earlier this month. Taylor, who's been stood down by the club, remains on bail until December, when he'll be back in court for sentencing. The pandemic has led to a huge surge in complaints to the Telecommunications Ombudsman, up 1,500% from people unable to contact their telco about internet services. Many overseas call centres were forced to close just as more Australians work from home. Overall, though, 127,000 complaints about landlines, mobile phones and internet services were logged last financial year, down 4% on the previous year. 250,000 Sydney homeowners are facing mortgage stress, with the east, south and northwestern suburbs now under the most pressure. Home loan deferrals fell in the past month, but as repayments return to normal, it's feared some families will be forced to sell up.
After a 6-month repayment holiday, Stephen Barbro's deferral ended today. But with his business collapsing, he simply can't afford to resume paying.
Our business at the moment, what we've got at the moment is 70% down. It's impossible to pay any type of loan at the moment.
And he's not alone. The Salvos witnessing firsthand the effect the pandemic is having on those under mortgage stress.
Things are looking quite bad economically and humanitarian-wise for people.
Bidwell, the Ponds and Macquarie Fields residents face high mortgage stress. In the south, it's Voyager Point, Milpera and Lumia. There are pockets of pressure in the north, while in the east, some harbourfront suburbs are at risk.
We're looking at 60 to 70% of households in those postcodes struggling with just meeting those mortgage repayments.
The banks are now in the process of resuming around 500,000 loans given deferrals earlier in the year, but some experts warn as many as 40% of the customers can't afford the repayments.
I think we're going to see more forced sales, therefore, around the urban fringe.
And for many, the very real prospect of mortgage stress turning into mortgage default.
If it doesn't get any good soon, lose my family house. Simple as that.
Cameron Price, 7 News.
Household spending has skyrocketed this year. Stuck at home, Sydney-siders are upgrading their appliances. How you can save and not compromise on quality. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News. But now Mel is here with Sport, and Mel, it's back to the future for the Maroons.
It certainly is, Fergo. Wayne Bennett is set to return to the State of Origin arena, adding even more spice. Details up next. Plus, Cronulla's extra motivation for the finals, we chat exclusively with young shark Vinay Kula on his miracle recovery. And Jose Mourinho takes applying the pressure to a whole new level, following one of his players to the toilet.
To win the ultimate school holiday adventure week, you need tonight's code word, scenic. Head to 7news.com.au/adventure to enter.
A day of cricket infamy.
In 2019, 352 people died on our roads. What would be a more acceptable number?
Acceptable?
70 maybe?
Actually, this is what 70 people looks like.
It's my family.
So now what do you think would be a more acceptable number?
0. 0.
The new Ford Puma doesn't need a Hollywood-level production. It doesn't need slow motion or an unrealistically good-looking couple. It doesn't need a world-renowned music track or an expensive camera or even a fancy voiceover. Excuse me? The new effortlessly stylish Ford Puma. No advertising trickery required.
Coles loves footy, and as proud partner of the AFL, you could win the ultimate AFL experience for 2021. Spend $30 in one transaction, scan your Flybuys card and receive one entry into the draw, plus a bonus entry when you buy products from selected brands.
Whatever plans you had for your future, they're still waiting for you. Because if you're with Host Plus, you're with one of Australia's top performing super funds over the long term. Host Plus, we go with you.
Murray River salted caramel, Sicilian blood orange, Himalayan salted chocolate, swirled with cream and covered in premium milk chocolate. Discover the thrill of the taste with Connoisseur.
Hey guys, get all your gear on. Steve, you're on the front, you guys in the back. Get on the hoses, come on, let's go. Stay safe, stay safe.
Discover Lash Paradise. Feather soft brush for instant volume. And a caring formula, even for sensitive eyes. Paradise by L'Oréal Paris.
This Saturday with Sportsbet, get the best payout across all 3 tabs with top-toed exotics. Nail a quinella, trifecta or even a quaddie and you'll get the biggest return. Top-toed exotics from Sportsbet.
This sport report brought to you by Sportsbet. Watch Sky Racing live on the app.
Welcome back. Wayne Bennett's return as Queensland Origin head coach will be confirmed as early as tomorrow. Kevin Walters has been forced to relinquish the Maroons' top job after being appointed coach of Wooden Spooners, the Broncos.
It's going to be, a tough job, but one that I'm really looking forward to. We get the right people involved in the organisation, and we'll do some really good things here.
Ahead of a knockout clash with Bennett's Rabbitohs, Maroons star Helen Ponga chose his words carefully.
Going up against him this week, so don't want to say too much. I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what I've learned from him.
Souths play Ponga's Knights at ANZ Stadium on Sunday. The inspiring story of a young teammate winning his cancer battle has given the Sharks an almighty finals boost. Finay Kula was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer 10 months ago. On Monday, he was given the all clear. Kula spoke with our Chief League reporter, Michelle Bishop.
The incredible news that Finay Kula is now cancer-free has the Shire buzzing.
I think he's a living miracle, and it's a story for everyone to kind of look at and I think keep that faith.
Kula himself is more subdued.
I was happy in that, but the fight's never really over and, still got to get better.
After what he's been through, that's understandable. 10 months ago, Kula was training with the Sharks NRL squad. Just a day after his 21st birthday, what he thought was a headache led to a diagnosis of stage 4 brain cancer.
I thought I was healthy, I thought I was a fit boy, but then, just all of this came crashing down on me.
Finay's condition deteriorated a month later.
That's when everyone was coming to say their goodbyes, but, I fought it and I'm here now and they don't have to say goodbye.
Against all odds, Kula is now cancer-free. He got the news on Monday.
Both just went into tears and we just couldn't believe it.
It wasn't just a solo effort, it was like a team effort.
To stay that way, Kula will need $60,000 worth of medication a year. But there's no bitterness.
If I could give back to anyone, like any other cancer community, I would, in a heartbeat.
Hopefully, some family could see what Finay's gone through. There's still hope, still belief.
Ronaldo Mulatalo is one of Kula's childhood friends.
He's a massive part of what I do right now, and it's finals footy. Dreams are made of this.
To see him, the way he's prevailed, Like, you know, it's like me living my dream out on him.
The Sharks play the Raiders in a knockout final on Saturday. Michelle Bishop, 7 News.
And we certainly wish Vinay and his beautiful family well. Our world champion women's T20 cricketers were denied a clean sweep in Game 3 of their series against New Zealand. On a bowler-friendly deck at Allan Border Field, the Aussies were restricted to 7 for 123. The Kiwis' Chase took an early hit.
Oh, gone! Georgia Wareham has deceived Devine, and that's a massive breakthrough.
Still, they held their nerve to score a consolation 5-wicket victory. In the IPL overnight, David Warner's team Sunrisers Hyderabad climbed off the bottom of the table. Big Bash star Rashid Khan snared 3 wickets in the 15-run win over Ricky Ponting's Delhi Daredevils. Mark Polman is the only Aussie man to reach the second round of the French Open after the biggest win of his career. The 23-year-old upset world number 38 Ugo Humbert in 4 sets to claim his first tour victory on clay. World number 1 Novak Djokovic cruised into the second round with a straight sets win over Michael Emer. The new coach of the Matildas is a 47-year-old Swede. Tony Gustafsson will guide the Aussie women's team through an exciting 4-year period that includes 2 Olympic Games and a home World Cup in 2023.
Very exciting player pool that I think can get to the next level. It's an amazing opportunity and once in a lifetime opportunity.
Gustafsson was an assistant coach with the United States for their last 2 World Cup wins. Jose Mourinho was known as a bit of a loose cannon, but this was bizarre even for him. With Tottenham down 1-0 against Chelsea in the League Cup, Eric Dyer left the field for a toilet break. Desperate to get his star back quickly, Mourinho followed Dyer to the bathroom.
I knew that he had to go, but I was just trying to put some pressure on him.
When you got to go, and some things you can't stop.
Dyer returned, Spurs equalised, then qualified for the quarterfinals on penalty. See that, Jose? He's a wise man. He actually won Eric Dyer the Man of the Match award for the match, and Eric Dyer posted this on Instagram. The real man of the match is the toilet seat. So,
save the day.
Save the day. Well done, everyone.
Special tactics from the special one.
One wise man.
Right, Mel. Thank you. TVs, fridges and washing machines are being sold for half price or less to savvy buyers looking in the right places. Household and electrical goods sales have boomed as many consumers work from home. But whether your warranty is valid could depend on where you buy.
From a distance, they look the same. Up close, some small differences.
Like this one, for example, it's a brand new fridge, but it's got a small dent in the door.
But the big difference is at the checkout.
You can save up to 50% generally on the recommended retail price on factory seconds, but also they generally come with a full warranty.
Factory seconds might have a scratch, dent or box damage, be ex-display or last season, or a returned product. Flaws, if any, are cosmetic, so they should still work okay.
Really, really good deals in TV, really, really good deals in refrigeration and cooking.
Sales of household goods are up more than 20% during the pandemic, and for electrical goods, it's nearly 22%.
Consumers are staying at home more and looking at upgrading household appliances.
Before you buy, make sure you know why it's a factory second. You're still entitled to a refund if there are any faults you hadn't been told about. Regular sellers and manufacturers should also give you a warranty.
But be careful where you spend your cash.
If you're buying directly from somebody else or from a warehouse that has purchased the product from somewhere else, then you might need to watch out in terms of the warranty.
These buyers think the extra research pays for itself.
Yeah, it's good. We're happy.
Gemma Acton, 7 News.
Now, a quick look at what's on Sunrise tomorrow.
Thanks, Fergo. When you wake up, the new technology changing the way we work.
The smart gadgets improving life for all employees in all sectors. That's tomorrow on Sunrise. See you in the morning, Sydney.
David is back now. Brownie, how long will the rain last?
Fergo, I think it'll disappear before sunrise. And, of course, your local forecast straight after the break.
Tonight on the latest from 7 News, 5 days with no community transmission, what it means for Sydney. The latest on the Gold Coast bushfire. Live to Rome as George Pell touches down, and we cross to Adelaide's giant pandas after their rather brief breeding season. Tonight, 10:40 on the latest from 7 News.
What's in a kiss? It can bring lives together or tear them apart.
Kobe's having an affair with the detective's wife.
What's going to happen if the husband finds out?
She's seen us together.
You know, if you show those photos to anyone, you're going to break this family.
You want me to help you keep your big, dirty lie a secret.
Home and Away. Next up on 7.
Don't just look good for your age. Look good for you. Nivea Cellular Filler Elasticity. With Hyaluron, collagen, and Elastin Booster. Improves elasticity and visibly reduces even deep wrinkles. Or your money back. Cellular Filler Elasticity from Nivea.
I know a place where play takes priority, where the Golden Eagle is set to take flight, and the Everest, that pinnacle event, takes racing to new heights. Champagne racing. No long faces here. Just a refuge for revelry, celebration, and good cheer. Get your fun back on track at Everest Carnival this spring. Book now at theraces.com.au.
Get your Woolies worth with great weekly specials, like Uncle Toby's Plus 410 to 435 grams, now just $2.37 each. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Make the healthiest switch to veggie rice and get more veggies in. Make the healthiest switch to veggie rice.
Nervous? It's just an ad.
Oh, sure. First, we're switching out carb-filled rice for delicious 100% veggie cauliflower rice, but then what? Who's next?
Oh, they won't switch you.
Don't jinx it.
Ah! P? P?
No P, just me.
Oh, actually, this switch is good too.
Bird's eye.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought during coronavirus our website would be so important. Once you are set up on My Post Business, the discount automatically applies. But it's not even just about the savings, it's about the service.
Whatever you never thought you'd be doing, Australia Post is here to help.
Fetch ESPN. Fetch BBC First. Fetch Discovery. Fetch Nickelodeon. Fetch over 50 premium channels. All your entertainment. Easy. Fetch.
It's Australian to stick together through ups and downs. It's super to know that Australia's largest super fund is investing for you like no other fund can. It's yours, your money for your future with Australian Super.
The Art of Living sale is on now. For a limited time, save up to 50% on the award-winning iconic Jasper sofa. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King Furniture? Sale on now.
Vacancies, weekly rents at an all-time low. Suburb by suburb, unlocking the new norm for tenants and landlords. 7 News at 6.
Tonight's 7 News headlines. Donald Trump and Joe Biden have squared off in an ugly presidential debate, already being called the worst in history. A car dealer and his accomplice are fronted court, charged over a casino rort, allegedly stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the star. 7 News has revealed the federal budget will offer young people upfront payments worth thousands of dollars to work in regional Australia. And Aussie singer Helen Reddy is being remembered as a trailblazer tonight after her death in LA. She was 78. Now, the latest on our weather, here's David.
Thanks very much, Fergo. Well, we've got a little light rain just passing through this evening. Mostly sunny conditions are expected for your Thursday and relatively warm too. Now, today's temperature range from 11.8 degrees there to a maximum of 20.8 degrees, just a few minutes after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Rainfall, light and patchy since early afternoon. In fact, as we have a look at the radar, there's not much around, is there? In fact, all reported falls so far less than 1 millimetre. As we go to the satellite, we keep an eye on some storm activity to the north, also through the central western plains at the moment. The trough that's driving this unsettled weather is gradually heading towards the coast. In fact, You'll notice from our forecast chart, the trough just gradually pushing that showery weather all the way up towards the northeast corner later tomorrow. New high building rapidly behind it, so that will bring clear skies and essentially light winds to a good part of our state tomorrow, especially during the second half of the day. But as we look further ahead, in fact, it's a fine start, well, to October for most of our state. The latest modelling, though, has this. It's a front passing to the south that will spark just some scattered showers. Might see the odd storm as well near the border areas. And, of course, this is expected to happen during Monday. So for us, it's sky clear all the way through into the long weekend. Perfect beach weather. Nationwide tomorrow, we're expecting some clearing showers in Brisbane. It should be a fine afternoon. Warm, around 28 degrees. Warmer through the tropical north, as you can see there. Down south in Melbourne, fine conditions and relatively mild for this time of year, a top of around 20. For Perth, well, might see a shower or two and a forecast high somewhere around 22 degrees. Darwin, clear skies and hot. 35 degrees. Back home, clearing, well, that's the weather word. You'll see that trough pushing all that unsettled weather towards the northeast corner. Some storms are likely through the Northern Rivers district, especially during the early part of the afternoon, but that will clear as the day wears on. Massive high there, parked in the middle of our state. And as I mentioned, clear skies associated with that and temperatures starting to build across the interior, essentially light winds for a good part of our state tomorrow afternoon. But as we have a look at the forecast for your Thursday across the Sydney metro area, temperatures this time ranging from around 23 degrees coastal all the way up to 28 degrees in Penrith. Yes, it will be a beautiful sunny day with just a gentle breeze. As we go to our coastal waters forecast, the estuary is expected to tend southeasterly by early afternoon. Not much in it at all, averaging around about, 10 knots. For the city, forecast maximum 25 degrees. Yes, it'll be a fine and mostly sunny day following an overnight low there of 14. So we move on to the 7-day outlook. A slightly warmer day is likely in our west on Friday. Clear skies though, the weekend sensational. Yes, especially the long weekend, because that's what we're looking forward to. Clear skies, mid-30s in our west, and just gentle breezes and afternoon coastal sea breezes. So it's looking good for the long weekend, Mel and Fergo.
All under control.
Indeed.
Thank you, Brandy. That is 7 News for this Wednesday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening. I'm Mark Ferguson from all the team. I hope you have a great night.